when you met Tim Reid, you had just you hadn't even been on stage yet. You guys were going around doing the presentations to the schools.
We were in the JCs.
The JCs.
The JCs in those days were young men of action, 18 to 36 years of age. They worked anytime there was a problem in the community. They worked on that problem. They would form a committee, and they'd teach you how to serve on a committee, how to chair a committee, how to serve on subcommittees, how to conduct a meeting. They had a lot of great training programs, leadership training programs. And they attacked the problems of the community. One of the biggest problems in those days was our youth using drugs, as it is today. And I wrote a drug education program teaching grade school children the ills of drug abuse with humor, a concept I had on getting the kids laughing and then planting the seeds of the ills of drug abuse, helping me. And I'm going to go back to, I was praying at that time, God, what is it I'm supposed to be doing? I'd be in a bar with my buddies at 2:00 in the morning saying, I don't belong here, but I didn't know where I belong. And I would pray. I said, God, what is it? Show me what is I'm supposed to be doing. I'd go from job to job and never felt fulfilled. But when I proposed this drug education program, I had a friend going to help me, a white guy named John DeBoer. And the night I presented this program to the JCs, so they'd sanction it, this young black kid came up to me. It was his first time at a meeting. He had just came from Norfolk State College. E.I. DuPont recruited him in Chicago as a marketing rep. And he joined the JCs. And he said, I would like to work with you on that project. I said, gee, thanks, but I got a guy already. And he said, okay. The next day, as fate would have it, John DeBoer told me I can't do that project. I got a new job. I said, gee, what was that black guy's name? Oh, yeah, Tim Reid. I got a hold of Tim. We start working on the project. We went into the classroom. The moment I walked in the classroom with him, I realized what a blessing this was because the children were black and white. So we were young guys. We walked into the classroom, they see a young black guy and a young white guy, and we were telling jokes off of one another, fooling around, making people laugh, playing records, getting the kids' attention. And then once we got them relaxed, we start presenting our program in the ills of drug abuse. After about 8 months, the program became very successful. A little 8th grade girl came as we were walking. She was walking out of the classroom. She said to Tim and I, you guys are funny. You ought to become a comedy team. And the thought of a black-white comedy team intrigued us. No one had ever done that before in the history of show business, the history of America. So we decided that's what we're going to do. And we started writing what we thought was material. And there were no comedy clubs. One night we went into a club and we got up and as they say, the rest is history. But we paid dues like no other act ever had to pay. 1969, Civil Rights Act. The Civil Rights Act had been passed only 5 years prior to that. You didn't see a black guy and a white guy walking down the street together, let alone get on the stage together. There were race riots all over America in every major city, Philadelphia, Chicago. In my neighborhood in Harvey, where I grew up at, one of the biggest riots in the country. Students were protesting the Vietnam War. Vietnam War was raging. I had just gotten out of the service. Tim just got out of college. And we were going across the land trying to make people laugh. Wherever there was racial tension, we weren't preaching, but we did 11 prisons in 1 year. We did colleges, high schools, wherever there was racial tension. The county jail in Chicago 3 times. Wherever there was tension, we went and tried to make people laugh. And I'll close with this. The team stayed together 6 years. We did an album. He's my best friend to this day. I love him to death. And his children call me Uncle Tom. When I leave here tonight, I'm going to dinner with his daughter, Tori, and his first wife, Rita. They're here. They call me Uncle Tom. The kids call me Uncle Tom, which it turned into some funny stories. Uncle Tom. One time at Norfolk State College, Tim and I were giving a lecture and we were selling books. And Tori hadn't seen me for about a year, his daughter. And I was at a buffet table before we spoke with 7 black college professors. We were getting our food. And Tori came in and she was clear across the room and she saw me. She started hollering, Uncle Tom, Uncle Tom. And these black professors turned around, looked at her, and I said, she's talking to me. I'm Uncle Tom. But again, we paid dues. I'll close with this. I can't tell you how many times after Tim and I were doing a show where there was racial tension, where a young white guy would come up to us and say, I got a black friend that I like to reach out to. But if I do, the white guys are going to give me a bad time. But after watching you and Tim, I'm going to reach out to my black friend. Then a black guy would come up and say, I got a white friend. I like the guy. but the brother's going to wear me out. But after watching you and Tim, I'm going to reach out to my right friend. That means more to Tim and I than any awards you could give us or anything. That happened to us all the time.